Hey, Danson, how are you? No, I will not hit that button. I hate it when people do that. Hey, Mark, how are you doing? Luke Duke, how are things? Hope all is well. Tell you what, last couple of days we had some beautiful weather. About time. Bill Beck is in the house. Bill, how are you? Howdy, Mark. Rail, how are you doing? Glad you could make it. Hey, Danson. Howdy, Luke. Bell. Did y'all see the live on pulling the John Deere head? I hope you guys liked that. I thought it was pretty fun. I wasn't able to really communicate with people, but yeah, I've done that my entire life, Mark. Um, the um, the biggest thing is it's heavy. There's nothing light about any of it. So, and that's the nice thing with automotive that if you look at a starter that's on like that John Deere, that starter is literally this big. I mean, that's like, oh, that thing is almost 2 foot long and it's heavy. I mean, it's this big around. So those are big starters. And if you work on a starter that's on a car, I mean, they are tiny. So a lot easier, less likely to smash your fingers and things of that nature. Beautiful 80-degree day here in Montana. Well, I guess it's warmer in Montana than it was here. Didn't see all of it. Okay. Yeah, that gives you a little bit of an idea that, Noah, my second oldest, was there to help. So, which, which is great. So, and, he enjoys that stuff too. So, and by being there and being involved in it, that's how the youngins learn. So, oh, hello, M. Leeser. M. Leeser's in the house. Em, how are you? Hey, dancing. This was for me the first time pulling an head on a John Deere tractor like that. So, Tim Webb, how are you doing? Hope you had a good weekend. Hope everybody had a good weekend. As a young one, yeah, same thing for me, Tim. Well, and when it came to mechanics and welding and the like, my dad was not good at any of it. So he always had other people fix his stuff because he just that was not his forte. So everything I've I worked, I was 14 years old. I started working on my own stuff. So, yeah, but that's on cars, same thing, Mark, because that tractor is like from 1973. So, in that time frame, there was not a lot of electronics, right? Everything was done with handles and rods and springs and whatnot. So, you only had a couple sensors like for your temperature, oil pressure, and that's about it. Actually, some of them even have still the metal tube for oil pressure. Well, yeah, Tim. For me, I gives me a chance to work with my kids, and hope they learn something. So I like to pass some of that knowledge on, and get them excited about doing some of that stuff. But yeah, there's definitely more room to work. That's for sure. Less computers and the like. But like I said, that's on older cars, the same thing. So, but you are familiar with that. You work in old cars, but same principle applies. It's one of the reasons why I like the older stuff better anyway. Because as soon as you got too much electronics, then you need to have laptops and whatnot, and especially when you work on ag equipment like that, that can get very, very expensive really quick because laptops like that to work on those tractors. I mean, you're looking at $10,000. So that's a lot of money. And if you just have one or two tractors, or you work only on a tractor here and there, that doesn't pan out. But on the old ones, you don't need any of that. So, well, I got I port the what was that called again? Evapo rust. So as soon as I was done with it and ended the live stream, I poured a bunch of Evapor Rust in there, and that's been sitting now. So here in a couple of days, we'll see how that's going, if it will do anything. Not sure what everyone would learn by working with me. It would probably be more of a case study of why you should pay attention in school. Northern Grant, how are you? My tractor is a 1948, so it should be okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That older stuff is, that's all mechanical, so that's pretty easy to work on. Quick Ranch, what up, Dave? What's up? I'll chat more in a few once I get home. That's fine, Dave. Hey, Dave. Latoya. Hey, Quick Wrench. Latoya Williams, how are you? So anyway, so yeah, learning new things. That's how I do it. Just get into it, get started, and then oh, here, let me give me 1 second. That's one of the first things I do is get me a technical manual, and therefore that gives me all the things I need to know. And I prefer the paperbacks over the computer stuff. So this will never go away. In the hospital. Oh, wow. Hope all is well. I hope it's nothing major. So we'll definitely open this up when we start putting all this stuff back together. So, but it's got a lot of information in there. You know, step by step, how to do. You want to do your cylinder heads and all that. It's got everything there. How to test it, all those things. It's just a lot of information here. So yeah, a lot to learn when you have a book like that. Yeah, for sure, and Lisa. Just like I said, every machine is different. So, but that gets you well on your way and things of that. Hey, Walter, how are you? Even with the parts manual too, my dad got a service and a parts manual for his John Deere 410. Yeah, the parts part I'm not too worried about. I just call the John Deere dealer, and if I need to have a part number. And I used to work a lot more on New Holland's, and New Holland has a like an aftermarket parts manual available where you can look up every little part, like for the engine or transmission, and it gives you the price, part number, everything you need to know. So that way, when you call the dealer, you have the parts numbers available, and that does eliminate a lot of back and forth and bullshit on the end of the day. So, but I haven't done anything with that yet on the John Deere. I just call the dealer or just go over there and see what they have. So I wouldn't even be ashamed to go over the John Deere dealership and say, "Hey, print me those parts lists off for working on this tractor." Like for whatever. Like if I start on this and I need part numbers, I'll just go over there and ask if they can print me off the part numbers and whatnot and the schematics for rebuilding that engine. So, and so far, they always done that in the past. Yes, and the service books have the torque specs, etc. Yeah, yeah, and the exploded views is really nice because that gives you an idea. So like something gets really stuck and you can't get it off, and if you look at the parts manual, they can see if you forgot a bolt or not, or something like that, right? So, like I said, when I deal with equipment, then I just go to the dealership or whatever, and they print me stuff off. So far they never denied me. So they know who I am. They know that I fix shit for myself. So they're already glad that I used to do so much stuff with on New Hollands and stuff like that. I was one of their biggest. I was their biggest customer when it came to parts. So yes, Yep, for sure, Mark. It's real easy to miss one sometimes. So, but yeah. So it's cool if you got a dealership that will work with you. So, and like I said, they always have in the past. So, but anyway. Well, and then I got one more John Deere engine. It's a what was the number? The number on the it's a 4045 John Deere engine. Like a little four-cylinder industrial John Deere engine. They use them on generators and I guess they put them in dozers, smaller dozers and graders. Hey Ken, how are you? So that will be the next one I want to tackle. I didn't get a book on that one yet, so I may need to, but we'll see. I got a friend of mine who's got another engine that is identical to it, except it has a big hole in the block, but that thing still spins, turns over fine. And this one here that I have is seized up, but the block is fine. So I was thinking to get a hold of him and see if I can make out of two bad engines one good one. That will be slick if I can get that accomplished. Hey, Eek. Hello, Ken. Yo, mama, what's up? How are you? But yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed that live. Like I said, I had a good time doing it. So give you a little bit on an inside look on how I do things. I don't know if that's the right way or not, but that's how I do it. So like I said, that was the first one. So evening, Emily, sir, and Rail. Good, good. Well, like I said, Mark, I hope you enjoyed it. Northern Grit, what is the most reliable four-cylinder diesel? The older Perkins are good. I'm personally a big fan of the Cummins 4BT, which is the same as basically the same as a 5.9 Cummins, only then a four banger instead of six. So I really like those. Rob Bronze, how are you? Good evening, Ken. Just yeah, that's right, babe. The Cummins 2.9 is reliable diesel, but yeah, I really like the older stuff personally. But and I've got not that much experience with those John Deere 4045 engines, but apparently, I mean, they made millions of those, and they still make them as of today. So That model engine is like, I don't know, like 30 years old. So that in itself means something, right? So if they make something for that long, that means it's a reliable engine. Oh, Bill, I'm so sorry to hear that. That's so sad, Bill. My condolences, my friend. Yeah. Yeah, that's right, Ken. It's only 59. Yeah, that's pretty young, Bill. The Cummins 4BT is also put in rat rods, and one was put in a Jeep. Yeah, they're actually, believe it or not, the 4BTs are very common to put in Jeeps and stuff like that, the smaller engine bays. The biggest, they put them in they've been put in a lot of skid steers and whatnot. The biggest downfall to the 4BT is because it's got only four cylinders, it shakes a lot more than one with six cylinders. So, if you put it like in a car, it feels a little more shaky. That's the only downfall, or that's probably one of the only things that some people dislike about a 4BT because they have less cylinders. The engine shakes a little more because with the two extra cylinders, it evens out better. There you go, Bill. Hard to turn down a free dinner, but anyway. But like I said, I was going to go get a hold of my guy there on that other engine. Uh, so see if I can make a deal with him. I sure I can. A while back, he talked to me about it that I need to buy that engine off of him. So, but yeah, that would be pretty slick if I could make out of two bad ones, one good one. Oh, thanks, Ken. Yeah, that was in that wood chipper, Mark. Everything was seized up on that thing. So, so it sits basically in its own little cradle thing, little housing with a little roof and all that kind of stuff where the muffler comes out over the top, just like what you have with the generator. So that was like, I don't know, 6 bolts or whatever, and it popped right off. So that was pretty easy to remove, believe it or not. The biggest problem I had was the clutch was seized on there. So that took me a lot of work to get that apart. Well, folks, don't forget to hit the like button. I've got to get a shower. Been out fishing. All right, Ken. Thank you for stopping in, bud. Appreciate it. I still got to clean myself up a little bit. Good night, Ken. Got a bunch of cleaning up done around here today with the skid steer, and I got one of those really big, heavy duty bush hogs. Only then the blades on it are, they're this wide and about that long. Man, that thing eats through stuff like it's out of style. So did some work in the back today and did some cleaning up with that. I love that machine. Makes cleaning up underbrush and whatnot just go in a hurry. But anyway, so anything exciting going on here as of late, or my Snap-on guy is going to come by this week. It's been a couple months. They diagnosed him with cancer, so he got that all treated and whatnot, and he's back on the road again. So sounds like he's doing well. Off tomorrow. Hope the weather gets better. Yeah, Tuesday they're talking about a bunch of rain rolling in here anyway. So trying to get some stuff done outside before that. And then I got a Chevy Malibu here with a mystery. No crank, no start. But I got it to crank and to start now. I think I'm going to do a video on that. Did you guys like that Fort Flex Saga video series or not? If you do, I can do something on this Malibu. Because that will be almost the same this thing here. But yeah, the weather's been here great, Mark. Okay. Yeah, I'll have to trace a couple steps back and put it all together. Show you what how I did it. So do you ever deal with Subaru rear wheel bearings? I have not, Northern Grit. I've got one customer that's got a Subaru, and let me see. So yeah, so that's about it. So I don't really work on them, but just a little bit. Should have. Go ahead, press it again, Denson. If you don't like the first press, just press it again. Yeah, this one is interesting. The owner of this car dropped that car off about a year ago at another shop for an engine swap, and when that got done, they couldn't figure out how to get it to start. So, but He brung it over here. It needs a couple things. I learned a trick to help them unstuck, but it may take 2 pages to type it out. Hey, Pat, how are you? Hey, thank you. Oh, thank you. Prevost, how are you? What year? What do you mean, Mark? On the Malibu? That's this year is a 2013. So, and then I've got a Jeep coming in, or a Jeep Wrangler sitting in the yard right now. Um, Needs a rear main seal. So that'll be interesting to see how that goes. If the rear main seal is leaking, could be the upper oil pan gasket leaking too. But we'll see when we get in there, I suppose. Hey, Prevost. So I'd be curious to see if we can get that 4630 engine knocked loose. So that'll be interesting. Hey, Bill. I'm thinking about taking the oil pan off and have a look at the bottom end. So if we get the top end open and the bottom end open, you should have a pretty good idea of what kind of state that engine is in. So yeah, it's a 3.6 Walter. Situation with oil filter cooling houses. That Jeep Dorman makes one out of metal. Okay. Yeah, I've done one on a minivan. But that's been a while. That was all out of plastic, and the plastic filter housing that was with the oil cooler, that was all plastic, and that cracked. So, but we'll have a look at it first before we start tearing it all apart. I haven't looked at it yet. Like I said, they dropped that off Saturday. So, and then tomorrow I should have the part coming in for that Malibu, and then we can get that thing figured out and start it. So that will be interesting. And then we need to see, probably need some fresh fuel in that thing since it's been sitting for more than a year. And see if we can get some juice and see if we can get that thing to fire. So, but yeah, that's kind of what I got on the docket right now. So, yeah, like I said, I'm pretty excited about that John Deere tractor. It would be great if we can get that thing to fire. The injectors will be another interesting story. We'll see, but I can test those and see if they even want to fire or not. If not, I'm half tempted just to open them up, clean them up really good, inside and out, and then see how they fire then. I just finished an in-frame on a 2003 Accord and have a 12.7 series Detroit. Need. Oh yeah, what kind of work does it need, Prevost? Always been a big fan of those Detroit 60 series. They leak a lot, but but they run and they're pretty cheap to work on versus a Cummins or a Cat. I can grab those John Deere injectors real quick. They they look pretty dirty, but we'll see. I may just put some Evaporust because I got them in a coffee can. I may just put some Evaporust in this and let them sit. But we'll see how that works when the cylinders there for that John Deere. If that works good, then I'm going to pour some of that and let this soak all and let it break some stuff loose. No, no, they never got it running, Mark. So, um, and the starter would click. I got it to click, would click, but it wouldn't fire, and there was no power on the starter. So, thank you, Dave. Appreciate it. The flywheel housing is pouring oil and has 890K miles on it. Damn. I'm going to pull it and go ahead and rebuild it while it's out. They were one of the best diesel. Yeah, I agree. Like I said, I always like the 60 series. They're leakers, but but I always said that sweat and horsepower on those. They always like to leak oil. So, yo, Tim, how are you doing? Glad you could make it, my friend. Oh, Dave. Hey, Tim. Smack those thumbs up, people, on your way in. I appreciate that, Tim. Thank you very much, my good sir. Howard, my man. Mr. Beckett. Walter says he's got a 1972 Chevy El Camino SS. Nice. Waiting on the high pressure steering hose that comes in on Wednesday. Replace the upper control bushings on Friday. Family, friends. Gotcha. What engine does that have, Walter, in that El Camino SS? Davis, okay. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, Tim. My condolences. Well, Northern Grit, you can actually, I got a mechanical injector tester, and you can buy them for like $100. They're really cheap. And I deal with enough of mechanical injectors that, let me see if I got it on the shelf here. Uh, no. No, I don't have it here handy. Um, but yeah, that's got a little reservoir, a little pump on it, and then you put a glass jar, and let the injector spray into the glass jar. Uh, so, like I said, one of those pop testers is like $100. Howard, my man, I hope all is well with you. 454, so that is the true SS. Nice. No, I have not, Dave. I have no idea what he's been doing. Yeah. But anyway, Northern Grit, yeah, that's how I test them. So just with a mechanical or with a pop tester, and that should tell you real quick what's what. Like, all those older tractors, they got, that have those mechanical injectors. It's pretty easy to do. Bunch of 5.9 Cummins 12 valves and whatnot. Well, you're home, Dave. I can send you a link if you like. Yeah, and like I said, it's only $100, but it's and like I said, I do enough of it, so it paid itself a couple times over. Um, and then you know exactly what's what. Just like on those 12 valves, you can have one or two injectors that are starting to mess up, and then instead of having to replace all the injectors, you just replace those, or you just replace the guts. And sometimes all they need is just some cleaning. They can have a tiny little bit of dirt where the needle is at, and then it won't spray right, it won't fire right. So, all right, you're good, Tim. No worries, my man. All right, give me 1 second here, Dave. I'll send you a link. Need to copy it first. Give me 1 second here, Dave. Link is sent. Yeah, well, like I said, there's a couple really small washers, and sometimes if the spring can go weak, the needle on the bottom of where the nozzle is at, they can have a tiny little bit of dirt in them. So if that happens, then they won't fire right, or and like I said, and they have shims in them and whatnot. That's how you adjust for the spring and all that with the shims to make sure they fire at the right pressure. And if they get weaker, then they fire sooner, which means you're basically going to set that engine out of time, if that makes sense. Okay, Dave. There you go, Tim. Thank you for donating your time like that. I appreciate that. But yeah, like I said, the mechanical injectors, that's pretty easy. Like I said, a lot of them just need a good cleaning. They just have some dirt in them or some dirt buildup. So, but some of them are just bad. So even after you clean them and you put it back together and hook them back up, they still won't pop right. So, and then instead of getting needle spring and washers and the like, it's just easier to swap them out and just get yourself some new ones. Because by the time I'm done doing it, you can basically doing all that. You can basically just buy a new one for that. Those older injectors are not that expensive anymore. But yeah, they do, Mark. You can get rebuild kits for those. Absolutely. Well, that's what, when you buy those reman injectors, that's all they do, right? They get the injector in, they clean them, and then, they have those rebuild kits laying on the shelf, rebuild the injector, and then send them back out the door and sell them as reman injectors. I mean, do the same thing with those 7.3 turbos. I basically reman those when I get a bad one in. But me doing that, so by the time they're buying, for example, on that turbo, by the time they're buying that turbo, I can do the turbo and the job of pulling and installing the turbo for the same price as buying a reman turbo. So, on the end of the day, they save money. Because I charge 2 hours to rebuild those turbos. Because they don't take much at all. I've done a couple videos on that, on those turbo rebuilds and whatnot. So I still got a Dodge one sitting there on the shelf that needs to be done. Yeah, I can show you. So that's your Dodge turbo right here. Make sure this thing don't fall on my keyboard. and then you buy basic, and then this your turbo rebuild kit with the new bearings and seals and all that, oil slinger. So don't take much. This basically same principle as a 7.3. So yeah. Well, I did send Dave a link, but I guess you don't want to come on now. I still wanted to get that turbo rebuilt, so I was thinking about doing a video on that too. That would be that was a wheel and deal, and in the meantime, I helped a friend out, sold him a good used turbo for cheap, and I kept his old one. That was one of the deals, or part of the deal. Kept his old one, and I bought the rebuild kit for it. So the only thing I have to do is rebuild it, and then I'll have a good one sitting on the shelf for the next one, or for myself, because I've got the same turbo. JWC Tech, what's up? How are you? Hey, Clark. No, I charge a little more than $10 an hour, my friend. How is everything with you, my good sir? Well, regardless, if I rebuild them, they save a good chunk of money. So pop up live streams for the yeah. Did you like that, JWC Tech? I had a blast doing it. I had a good time, so I figured I would share that with others. Another project hits the shelf to collect dust, and no, it won't get forgotten. A little wet. Yeah, how much rain did you get, Clark? Because normally when what the rain that you guys get there, it takes about a day or two, and then we get that here. So yeah, were you able to watch? Have you been able to watch the whole thing, Jason, or not? Well, there's Dave.
Where's Dave?
Well, I don't know. It took him long enough.
Where is his son? Where is that guy? I do not.
Holy crap, Clark! Y'all had 5 inches. Unbelievable.
5 inches must not be Italian.
No, he's talking about 5 inches of rain.
Still must not be Italian. Everything in Italy is at least 8 inches. The snow, the rain, everything. Nose, everything.
Oh, you like that one, Jason? That was pretty good, wasn't it? They had a good time doing it. Watch for about 50 minutes. Gotcha. Oh, good, Jason. So what's new with Dave?
Not much.
Not much.
No, honestly, not much. kind of been a quiet week.
That's right. They had a good time doing that.
Ever since I raised my interest rates, nobody's calling me anymore, Theo.
Raise your interest rates on what?
Any personal loans, any type of shit like that.
Oh,
I raised my interest rates. I took them from the 8.99 I was being nice about. I took them to 38.99%. So I'm just below 40%. So I'm worse than the mob. So suddenly I have no friends and nobody's calling me.
well, problem solved, right?
Which when you talk about Jason, or I'm saying JWC, Toolbox Tours video, talk about the guy that learned everything he says from Scanner Danner and he'll actually diagnose
Yeah,
it. Is that the video he's talking about?
I think so. I seen that one. That was pretty impressive.
What this holy crap? I might be holy, but I'm not shit. Yeah, well, I guess, and I did see it. If you're talking about the same one I am, I diagnose stuff for free. I do Scanner Danner. I pay Paul Danner everything for his premium channel, which, hey, I'm never picking on that. Paul is a great, great instructor.
Hmm.
He connects.
Yeah, that guy's got a neck for that, man.
He connects very well with what I consider. I don't know how to say this. The mechanically inclined, mechanically hand. I mean, you're not like this. I want to be a gynecologist or I want to be a brain surgeon. And if you don't like break it down to the molecule by book, don't show it to me. I want to read it. I won't understand it. Paul Danner is very good at breaking it down into what's real. If you actually pay for his premium channel, and I tell you a lot of young techs too, he does like full blown college classroom instruction, multiple videos sometimes, but he never ever just leaves it at that. He also goes out and does it real life on the vehicle with
Hmm.
students. This is how we figure this out. This is what we test. This is what we figure out.
Yeah, that was fucking slick, wasn't it, Walter? I like that idea, using the horn to test the starter. Mark wants to know if you're a snappy dealer, Dave, because of the interest rate. And JWC Tech wants to know if you sold those index and trim tools yet.
I ain't sold nothing. So that question, I ain't sold nothing. But what was the question that Walter says? Oh, that was pretty cool. The horn with the horn. I don't know how many amps it takes, but horn's cool because you can hear it. You don't have to see it.
Right. That's it, right? They know that your solenoid will engage.
I'd still have to say that horn's drawn 3 to 5, 2.5 amps, maybe. It's kind of giving you're kind of loading the circuit with a horn. I'd have to say.
Right.
Yeah,
There you go, Dave.
Jason, what kind of deal you want? I don't even know what the fuck the retail is on those things. You probably want them for like $29.95, so you can sell them for $89.95.
So you had a slow week, Dave?
What's that?
So you had a slow week?
I can't. It wasn't that slow. It was just. Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't as busy as normal. I still hit. I think I did 51 and a half hours flat rate time, and I did take some time off. I cut out of there a few times early.
Yeah, then they can say, it's in such a big container.
Well, actually, if you look at the size of the container that Italian ice comes in, it's actually a pretty good size per load that we produce. And, that's what we call it once we freeze it. We call it Italian ice.
That's right, $29.95. But wait, there's more.
I don't know. My travels in the world, the biggest fucking people I ever came across in my life were from the Netherlands or parts of Africa. I come across guys from the Netherlands that were like fucking pushing 7 foot. And I've seen guys over 7 foot from particular areas of Africa. And that's pretty crazy. You see guys that tall. I mean,
Well, that makes the Italian look small. Is that what you're getting at? Are you trying to compensate for your small ice cream jar?
in my ice cream jar just fine.
So what you been working on?
Huh?
So what you been working on?
Junk?
Junk?
Yeah. A lot of Chrysler junk. And I got a lot of other stuff I'm not like, I don't know. It ain't my favorite shit. It would be my favorite shit if I worked on it all the time, but I don't. But I got a couple BMWs for service repairs I got to do. One's I think a 330i. I think the other one's a 525i. I think they both have the same engine, a 2-liter turbo, 4-cylinder. But I got various shit I got to do on both. Well, the one BMW, it's quite a bit of shit to do to it. It's actually like $3,800 ticket, and all we did is re-inspect what the dealership's inspection said. And believe it or not, we ordered all or priced it out all on OE parts, except for the front struts. The front struts, they said, were on back order and needed front struts. So we priced out Bilstein front struts for this BMW. I think 525i, some shit like that. I don't know what the price was, but bottom line is customer said fix it all, do it all.
Well, you don't hear that. You don't hear that every time with.
I did it, and I found out why he said do it all. The quote he got from the dealership for the quote he gave us to match, or the things he asked us to see how much it would be, he didn't show us a quote from another place. He had a list.
Yeah.
The dealership wanted $8,200 for all that work.
Damn.
And I was like, holy shit. I thought we were high. I mean, we didn't. I mean, we didn't back down. We kept our freaking price tag up at 100 and for European cars, $180-ish an hour range, plus whatever our companies or whatever they want on part markup. We kept it all in the neighborhood. We still came in thousands cheaper than the dealer.
$180? Jeez. Yeah, we spent a small fortune on watermelons.
You got good soil for watermelons where you live. We can't grow watermelons here in Michigan like you guys can down there in Indiana, Illinois, and various other surrounding states. But I don't know something about our soil. Don't like watermelons, or most breeds of watermelon. Why'd you plant so many watermelons, Theo, this year? You spent so much money on watermelons.
To make a dollar.
Well, I thought you were going to be housing immigrants or something. For free.
No. We'll sell them.
I'm joking. You sell them, and when they get really shitty, you save those things.
Now, since we're talking about tools, or specialty tools, or rare tools, y'all ever seen any of these? I got almost a complete set, not quite.
Is that the butterfly ratcheting line wrench shit?
Then you put that around it, and then you put your ratchet on there, and then you can break them loose. Like new. I'm missing one set out of there's three of them all together to make them complete. So
Oh, yes. Oh, shit. Oh, my God.
yeah, this was Easy Red came out with those, I think 10, 15 years ago. They only made them for a couple of years. Yeah, I picked those up pretty cheap. So I figured if I need them, I need them. If not, I bought them cheap enough where I can resell them. Yeah, man, I loved it. I'm going to buy me another one, so that way, if the battery runs down on this one, I can grab the next one.
Why do you like that one so much?
It fits right.
It just fits right.
Yeah, I don't like headlights. Believe it or not.
Light. Did you ever have the one that has the removable lights?
Yep.
You had that.
Yeah, and I just sold them. I just sold those. And I didn't like them all that much because they were sitting right here. They were never in the right spot. And with these right here, I mean they fit just perfect. I
Good
really
to
like
know.
these.
Good to know. Just curious because I've tried to ask and nobody seems to have an idea what the hell the big difference is between the new Snap on newer, not
These.
new, but newer version. Yes, those newer version. When I say
The
newer,
ones that were for around the ones
those are
for
probably still made by Easy Red. Those are probably still made by Easy Red or some Easy Red
yeah.
makes shit for them, but I just wanted to know like what was the major issue, what was the major difference between those, say that in the Easy Red set versus the Snap-on set that had the removable things, and you say it's comfort. That makes sense. 'Cause the band
Well,
does
the
band
one
does look more comfortable. It does look more
the,
comfortable. It looks like it has a nicer grip, a wider grip.
yeah. Well, the one with the that goes around the neck with the snap-on ones with the removable heads that were because it moves around too much, and then those were too weak to hold them up here in place. They always wanted to fall down, and the lights were too long, so half the time you would knock them loose. And these are perfect because they're not sticking too far past your head. See that? And like I said, I really like them. It's just great. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but when I have a headlight, I don't really like that pressure on my forehead for whatever reason. And I mean, I wear a baseball cap, but
I never wear any cap. Almost never have a hat on. It has to be really, really, really cold.
yeah, and
Right.
these Howard, these don't get hot at all. I mean, they like I said, I
If you
love
look
them.
at them, they look more comfortable. Just in the whole design of them, they look like they'd be more comfortable.
Yeah, and they got a little more clamping force than the other ones. The other ones would stand out
Yeah,
a
it
little
looks like
wider.
they have a wider band, so that clamping force is going to disperse over a larger area.
Yeah.
In Milwaukee for the bin. Oh yeah, you're right. Let's burn that motherfucker Milwaukee down, JW. Milwaukee hasn't burned down yet. Let's burn it down.
Yeah, like I said, I never care for headlights, so
I'm not gonna be one of those goddamn YouTubers that uses a cock light. That ain't happening here. I don't think I've ever seen you use a cock light before.
a what?
A cock light.
A cock light?
Yeah, like a light. Hello?
Oh
Hello?
no, hell no!
I don't do cock lights, man. Now I
In
will
the
mention
believer,
big YouTubers like to, you know, use cock lights. You know, I won't mention that.
believe it or not, makes me
Mike,
gag.
I'll leave you alone. I'll leave you alone. I'll leave you alone, Mike, about your cock light infatuation.
Like I said, believe it or not, they make me
You're
gag
still the
if I do
master
like.
of the flat rate system, Mike. I'll leave you alone on that. But
Seeing if you get one of these, you don't need a cock light.
no, they still like to. I'm like, dude, I can't do that, man. My jaw hurt too much.
Here we go, says Mark.
There's others that like the cock light. I mean, if you want to go slimmer, go coast. If you don't mind medium, streamlight. If you don't mind a little more girthy, Olight. I guess the girthy.
Light is
That's
like
girthy is how they got their name. Olight. Oh
so
shit.
Light is like donkey dick style. size?
It's more girthy, more buccal. Roundness, more buccal. Length, not so much.
Hey, I always thought that's what the Italians liked.
And not do the Italians. Has to do with the female. The Italians like 3-4 fucking women in their life at all times. You really want to know the truth. So I'm a bad Italian in my family. I guess it's because I'm only half.
Mark likes his old lights.
What?
All right, guys.
Maybe he's keeping them under the covers in the bedroom. And
I
he's
don't
looking
know.
around like, I know your shit's here somewhere, girlfriend. I love you, honey. And all of a sudden, he finds a light. Oh,
Okay, Dave. All right. We're well over the hour mark, so
everybody, thanks for supporting Country Ma / Theo. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for having me on, Theo. And we'll catch you next time.
all right, guys. Thank you for coming out. Appreciate it. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Hope everybody's going to have a good week. And we're going to catch y'all on the next one. Peace out.